Welcome back to our Ramadan series. By now, you're probably starting to feel the rhythm, right? The early mornings, the iftar anticipation, the constant hunt for dates. It's become a routine. But here's the thing about routines. They can either make us or break us. And today on day 16, we're talking about how this halfway point in Ramadan is less about autopilot and more about stepping up our game. Think of it like this. The first half of Ramadan, you're a rookie, figuring things out. But now, you're a seasoned player. You know the plays, you felt the thirst, you've even managed to not yell at your family during iftar prep. Let's explore how this day marks a pivotal point in the holy month, a time to reflect, recharge, and really double down on the spiritual gains. Alright folks, halftime is over. We're officially in the second half of Ramadan. And just like a basketball team trailing at halftime, it's time to come back with a fire in our bellies. No more rookie mistakes, no more snoozing through Fajr. The 16th day is like that coach's pep talk in the locker room. It's a reminder that this isn't just about abstaining from food and drink. It's about pushing ourselves spiritually, about pushing past our comfort zones. Think of it like this. You've spent the first half of Ramadan building that foundation. You've been laying the bricks of prayer, fasting, and charity. Now, it's time to build the skyscraper. We're talking about intensifying our devotion, taking our worship to the next level. It's about pushing ourselves to recite more Qur'an, to connect with Allah, SWT, on a deeper level, and to really reflect on the blessings in our lives. But here's the thing. Just like a championship team, we don't give up when things get tough. So, let's use this day 16 as a springboard into a period of intense reflection, increased worship, and a renewed commitment to becoming the best versions of ourselves. Okay, so we've talked about stepping up our game, but what does that actually look like? Well, my friends, it's about taking our worship to the next level. Remember all those good habits we were trying to build in the first half? Now's the time to solidify them. We're talking about consistency, baby. Think of your Qur'an recitation like a workout routine. You wouldn't just hit the gym for a week and expect to see results, right? It's about showing up every day, putting in the reps, and gradually increasing the intensity. And speaking of intensity, let's talk about tahajjud, that late night prayer, the one where you drag yourself out of bed in the darkness. Yeah, that one. It might be tough to wake up, but trust me, the rewards are worth it. But it's not just about the big things, it's about infusing every aspect of our lives with dhikr, the remembrance of Allah, SWT. Whether you're stuck in traffic, waiting in line at the grocery store, or just trying to survive your family's iftar party, find those moments to reconnect. The goal is to focus on our own personal connection with Allah, SWT, to find that inner peace and tranquility that comes with surrendering to something greater than ourselves. Let's make it a time for spiritual growth, for seeking knowledge, and for strengthening our relationship with the divine. Alright, let's be real for a second. By day 16, the hunger pangs are probably hitting a little different. The patience might be wearing thin, and that whole hangry thing, yeah, we've all been there. But here's the thing about fasting. It's not just about abstaining from food and drink. It's about training our minds and bodies to resist our desires, to develop that inner strength and discipline. Think of it like this. Every time you resist that urge to snack between meals, every time you bite your tongue instead of snapping at your family, you're building up that spiritual muscle. You're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you think. And let's not forget, fasting is a deeply personal journey. So the next time you feel that impatience creeping in, take a deep breath. Remember why you started this journey, and focus on the bigger picture. Remember, Ramadan is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, time for a little history lesson, folks. Did you know that some pretty major events in Islamic history went down during Ramadan? I'm talking about the Battle of Badr, one of the most pivotal moments in early Islam. Imagine this. It's the year 624 CE, and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his small band of followers are facing off against a much larger Meccan army. The odds are stacked against them, but their faith is unwavering. Now guess what day the Muslims were preparing for this epic showdown? You guessed it, around the 16th of Ramadan, they were gathering their strength, strategizing, and preparing for a battle that would shape the course of Islamic history. And you know what's even more inspiring? They weren't just fighting for their own survival, they were fighting for their beliefs, for the right to practice their faith freely. So, what's the takeaway for us today? Well, just like the Muslims at Badr, we're engaged in our own battles, our own struggles against temptation, against negativity, against all the forces that try to pull us away from our faith. But the story of Badr reminds us that even when the odds seem insurmountable, even when we feel outnumbered, victory is possible with faith, perseverance, and a whole lot of courage. So, as we enter this second half of Ramadan, let's channel our inner warriors. Alright folks, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, money. Or, more specifically, giving it away. Ramadan is a time for generosity, and that doesn't just mean being generous with your leftover iftar food, although that's always a good thing. I'm talking about opening up your hearts and your wallets to those less fortunate. See, in Islam, we believe that wealth isn't just about how much you have, but how you use it. It's about recognizing that everything we have is a gift from Allah, SWT, and that we have a responsibility to share those blessings with others. Now I know what you're thinking. Hassan, my brother, times are tough. Inflation is through the roof, gas prices are insane, and I'm pretty sure my landlord's trying to price me out of my own apartment. But here's the thing. Charity isn't just about giving money. It could be volunteering your time at a local soup kitchen, donating clothes to those in need, or even just offering a kind word to someone who's feeling down. And the best part? Giving charity isn't just good for those receiving it, it's good for the giver too. So, let's make this second half of Ramadan a time for increased generosity. Alright folks, we're officially in the home stretch. With less than 10 days left of Ramadan, the anticipation is building for one very special night, Laylatul Qadr, the Night of Power. Now, for those who haven't heard of it, Laylatul Qadr is like the Super Bowl, the World Cup, and the Grammys all rolled into one, but for Muslims. It's the night when the Qur'an was first revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and it's said to be better than 1,000 months of worship. That's right, you heard me correctly, one night, 1,000 months, that's like getting a spiritual bonus round, a chance to rack up those good deeds and earn some serious blessings. But here's the catch, no one knows exactly when Laylatul Qadr falls. It's hidden within the last 10 nights of Ramadan, and it's up to us to seek it out with even more devotion and prayer. Think of it like a spiritual treasure hunt. We're given clues. It falls on an odd night, it's a night of peace and tranquility, and it's a time when Allah, SWT, showers His mercy upon His creation. So how do we prepare for this epic night? Well, we step up our game even further. We increase our prayers, our acts of charity, our recitation of the Qur'an. Okay, let's be real for a second, we've all been there. Ramadan ends, the feasting begins, and suddenly those good habits we work so hard to cultivate start to fade faster than your Eid henna. But here's the thing. Ramadan isn't just about a month of fasting, it's about transforming ourselves, about becoming the best versions of ourselves. And that transformation? That's not meant to be temporary. Think of Ramadan like a spiritual boot camp. It's intense, it's challenging, but it's designed to equip us with the tools and the discipline we need to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, even after the last iftar has been served. So, as we enter the final stretch of this holy month, let's start thinking about how we can carry the lessons of Ramadan with us into the rest of the year. Maybe it's committing to praying 5 times a day, even when we're not fasting. Maybe it's making a conscious effort to be more charitable, more patient, more mindful of our words and actions. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to strive for progress, to keep moving forward on this journey of self-improvement. So there you have it, folks. Day 16, a time to reflect, recharge, and really step up our game as we enter the second half of Ramadan. Remember, this isn't just about crossing days off the calendar, it's about making the most of every single moment, every prayer, every act of kindness. Let's make this Ramadan a turning point in our lives, a time for spiritual growth, for strengthening our connection with Allah, SWT, and for becoming the best versions of ourselves. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more insights as we continue our journey through Ramadan. Ramadan Mubarak.